Hello, I'm Dale Myler of Myler Bits, and this is going to be our first part of maybe 3 or 4 segments in this series on what we feel a nice recreational horse should know. And the reason we're showing this is because we try and keep our horses as relaxed as possible, and we want to show that we can do these things and still have our horse relaxed. So the first thing we're going to talk about, oh, by the way, before we get into this, I would like to say hello to Julie and Heidi and the gang out in Colorado and let them know that solid, I do have it on. I appreciate all your help. So when it comes to safety around the horse, I want a horse to stand still to start with. So I want to be able to walk around him and have that horse be here. Hey, get your head up. Get your head up. And I don't want him messing around like that. When I walk behind a horse, I want to go as close as I can to that hip unless I can go way out around, because the closer I am here, if he would kick, the less I'm apt to get hurt, because the farther away I am, the more power he gets in his kick. Now, when you saddle a horse up, there's many ways of doing this, and the clinicians and everything, we are not trainers professionally, so clinicians have DVDs out on everything we're going to do, and we're going to just show you how our horses do work, and then you can go to a clinician or something, get DVDs and find out how they're doing it. However, when we saddle our horses up, myself, I want my blanket to be a high rise in the front, because I want it to come up here into the pommel and off of the wither. I don't think that a saddle pad setting directly down on the wither is very good for the horse as far as being fluid in his shoulders. Secondly, is when we reach for the girth. I have seen people in the past that when they saddle their horse up and they reach for the girth, they'll turn and they'll put their head to the hind leg. Never put your head to the hind leg of a horse. Always put your hand, reach underneath, and take your girth. Start your girth, get it to where it's not exactly where you want it to be, and then maybe walk your horse around a little bit or something, and adjust your girth. The back girth, same way. If you're going to reach for the back girth, put your hand, reach underneath, get your girth, and tighten it up. I've never seen the sense of having a back cinch on a horse and having it that far below his belly. It was designed to keep your saddle from lifting up on these horses, for roping horses and things. So if it's that far below the belly, what good's it doing you? And also, if a horse kicks up at a fly or something, he can possibly get his leg between there. Now, when we come to the front of a horse, a lot of people like to love on their horses. I've seen people over the years, in what we do, they'll come up here and they'll just be all lovey to their horses and everything, and I think that's great. Nobody loves their horse any more than we love our horses. However, always protect yourself. Always have your hand on the muzzle and then reach up and do anything you want to do. I remember one time my brother Ron was telling me that he was at a cutting in Houston, Texas. The horse came out, a lady came up to the horse and was loving on the horse and everything, and the horse reached up and took the lips right off her face. Always have a protection, and then do whatever you want to do. Now, here's something that I learned just in the last couple of years. I'm 69 years old, and it took me this long to watch somebody to see how it was done, and that happened to be Dr. Robert Myler. And when it comes to cleaning feet, how many times have you reached down and you're trying to pull that foot and grab it and lift it up? Where if you just reach here, squeeze the chestnut of that horse, pick the foot up, you can go ahead and clean the foot. And then just put the foot back down. So I found that out a couple of years ago, and I've kicked myself ever since then that I didn't know it a lot earlier. So this is what we would consider safety around a horse when we tack our horses up. When we bridle our horses, we'll take this bridle off to show you. When we take a head stall off, we will loosen it here, and we'll drop it down. and we'll unhook the curb here. This curb's got a little hook. You wouldn't necessarily have to unhook the curb if you drop your headstall, but it makes it easier to take off of the horse. It makes it easier to put it back over top of the ears. And then, if you didn't attach your curb, it's right there, and then we just lift it back up. The other thing that I do is, because I think it's just being courteous to my horse, I will reach around the front and I will shake my bridle bit. So then I'll just attach everything and get it the way I want it. So that's going to be our first part right here, I believe, and we're going to let it go at that.